Hello. Welcome to Field Service Office Hours. Just a tech check. Can you hear me? And you should be able to unmute if you are comfortable unmuting, but thumbs up if you can hear me. Perfect. Thanks, Carlos. All right. I have some other tech stuff to set up. I'm going to start a new movie here so that we can see. I think I have to. What? That's yeah. I'm going to restart this. Turn. Oh, Scott, welcome. Welcome. We are just getting started here. I got to launch my QuickTime player so that we can share my phone. And yeah, the goal for today is to get into setting up, the mobile app. And what are the first few things that we do? So I was thinking from an agenda perspective, I'll do maybe 30 minutes of just walking through what setting up the mobile looks like to just get started. And then we can save the back half of this call for any questions that you might have. Choice is yours, or I can dig in deeper if you'd like. So ready to get going? Cool. Let's share my screen. Cool. All right. I got a chat going on here. Oh, yes. So new features. Correct. So we will get into change data capture. So I will go through all of that here because I've already started to play with that. Now the question is, how do we actually get it live? So let's just see if we can do it. So can you see my screen?
Yes. Oops. Heard.
And exactly. So the joy and the pain of Salesforce is sometimes you get these errors. And this was something that I wanted to start off with. I still don't know why my technician doesn't have access to this org. So last week, what did we set up? So I set up a new Trailhead org and I created a new user. For my test technician. Right. So there's my test tech. I assigned a permission set group, which was field service resource for field service. The other piece that I realized was the permission sets in the group. So I got another error message before. I couldn't even log in. So what is that about? And then I went into this org and I saw that there's this standard permission set now. And this was not part of the permission set group. So I don't know why. The question is out to product to find out what is this new permission set? Is this standard? Do we all need to have this? Because my other orgs don't have this. But then, so I unblocked error number 1, but now I've got error number 2. So error number 2 is I cannot sync this data. So an error prevented downloads from completing successfully. So not entirely sure why I can't do a data sync. So we're going to just move past this and log into another org. I'm still trying to figure this out. So I'm going to move to a different org and I'm going to test out this Gloria Barnes one. And instead of, so back to your point, John, instead of talking about what does it take to get started on the field service mobile app, let's talk about what the shift into the data capture looks like. So I played with data capture this morning. Now, one of the questions that I had in doing this, I'm going to move this guy. I'm going to close out my Trailblazer and move into, there's the spreadsheet. I'm going to just rearrange these. This is a sales demo org that partners can get. So, John, I'm not sure, are you part of the partner learning camp? Because if you're part of partner learning camp, you get access to this. Scott,
Yeah,
sorry, go
I
ahead.
think that I am.
You don't think you are?
No.
Okay. I need to find out a way to give customers or up and coming consultants access to orgs like this because it's such a good playground. So one of the things that I want to experiment here too is Agentforce and Einstein for field service. There is a promise that exists in this type of org, and I have not uncovered that yet. So my goal with you all in this 2-month period is to uncover all of the new features. What does the end-to-end process look like leveraging these new features? And sometimes we're going to have to use an org like this because I don't have access to all the Agentforce licenses in a Trailblazer community or Trailhead developer org. Yeah. Like I'll have Agentforce licenses, but I don't have field service licenses. I'll have field service licenses, but I won't have Agentforce licenses. So I've planted that seed with the group, and we need these test environments in order for us to actually play with these use cases that we'd really love to build. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll get there in time. Okay. So from here, I did do all the setup to get Gloria Barnes in here. So I have to just quickly create a work order and schedule it to Gloria Barnes. And then I also wanted to review what the flow looks like. So just bear with me while I create a work order for her. Because when we're building a new org for a customer, the process from Salesforce can do anything to what do we actually want to build? It's like a blank slate. Nobody really knows exactly what is being built. Oh, I think I have somebody. Perfect. Hey, Derek, thanks for joining. So yay. So I tend to just set up something very basic just so that we can go through an environment to say, this is what a work order looks like, and then just schedule it and then take them through the mobile app so they can see the end-to-end experience, right? So the hope is that it doesn't take you a full 2 months like what we're about to do, right? But it might take you a whole day or 2 days to get it all up and running. So Derek, today we're going to talk about the data capture, and I wanted to go through setting up the mobile app. Actually, let me just show you this error. Have you seen this before?
I've seen lots of different data capture errors, but hopefully they've been
Well,
taken.
this is not that. This is I'm testing out the new time to value setup, and I assigned all the perms to the perm set group. And this is what I got when I first logged in as the technician.
What's up for you? What's it say?
Yeah. An error prevented downloads. So I'm like, oh, is this like a briefcase thing? Is this a sharing thing? So I haven't really gone too deep, but I've never seen this before.
Interesting. I haven't played around with setting up the time to value stuff yet. So it might be something like last week where you found a perm that wasn't set up right from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's likely.
We'll see. The other thing that from a change data capture, I meant to reach out to the team about this earlier this morning, but then I got squirreled on something as I normally do. I think I have to enable Lightning web components. I have to.
You definitely do. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yep. Okay. So I did want to go through that today too. Okay, cool. All right. So I decided to skip all this and I was like, okay, we're just going to be like Martha Stewart and I'll have a different cake baking in the oven. So here's my other cake. I've got an SEO that I just spun up and I have access to it. So I'm now just in the process of creating a work order and I'm just going to assign it to Gloria Barnes just so that I have something in here.
I've got a really important question.
Yeah, John.
What did I usually say, Julia Childs? Does that mean that I'm old?
That's a very important question. I don't think so. Julia Childs is a good one. Wasn't she like, who was the first one that did it? She's like the pioneer. That's a good one. I don't know what kind of work type I have in this org, but okay, cool. We're just going to do a repair estimate in probably San Francisco. Hopefully Gloria Barnes is there. And we're going to Omega. Is there an Omega? Yes, there sure is. Cool. Just something really quick. All right, let's see. Does candidates work? If not, we're not going to waste our time troubleshooting why. We're just going to do the good old drag and drop. So let's just see what I got here. We'll just call it 250 mission. No, not there. It's not me, myself. There you are. Nope, nobody. That's okay. We're just going to go to the dispatcher console and just do it from there. I don't remember where Gloria Barnes is. I just made an assumption that she's in San Francisco. I just spun this org up this morning. Oh yeah, you're there. Oh, maybe she doesn't have the skill. Yeah. Dispatch. Okay. Today's March 11th, right? Yes. Okay. Let's open the tab and let's see what's up. Oh, I don't have the share on here. Oh, I assigned it to Alexander. Seriously? That's why. Gonna be one of those days. There you are. Okay. Oh, this is new. That notification looks different. I could dismiss it. That's nice. Okay. So here we go. I've got all of these actions here on the work order. And the way that we've known about these, oh, great. What's going on here? Sorry, apologies. Here we go. The way that we know about accessing these actions are through the app extensions. So it's going to change a little bit with data capture. You can't add your data capture here yet. So anyways, I just had this 2 weeks ago. So I'm also have to dig into the crates of what I learned. So I just did the training 2 weeks ago. And I thought one cool thing that we could do was take a look at an existing flow and see what would work. Oh, this is the data capture one. This is the flow. If I had this as my existing work closure flow, how can I just convert this to be a data capture flow? So this is my I want to cut corners, Leanne kind of attitude, which might not work. So I want to go through that path to show you why it's not going to work. Okay. So what we know for sure that's not supported yet is the loop. Like loops are not supported in data capture. So that's an important piece to know. So I was like, I don't care. I'm going to just convert this anyway. I'll show you what it'll look like when you do. So if I just say test and show advanced and then change the type from field service mobile flow to not digital form flow, because I thought that would be interesting, but it's not the one I want. It's this data capture flow template. So I flipped it over to that and I was just like, all right, save it. Let's show me the money. It won't save it for you. So what I found was friendly was like this. You can't do anything with it. This is the reason why we've got a big error. But it doesn't actually say here, it's not supported. It just says, if I look at all of these things, it's not this. But then the fact that I had all these also, I was like, oh, these are like pretty friendly error messages. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just forget about this. Like I'm going to just cut each and every one of these and paste them in here. Maybe that's a good idea. No, because you can't delete this thing. So don't be mindful. I would say it's not a don't situation. Just be mindful of what the refactoring process is going to take. Sure, you can do all this copy paste in order to get there. So in order for me to actually save it, I had to flip it back to a field service mobile flow, delete the loop, and then I was able to save it as a data capture flow. So that's one way to go around it. So can we refactor a field service mobile flow? Yeah, maybe. So I haven't actually tested this out yet. So that's why I'm like still saying the word maybe, because I have not actually ran this through. So I want to spend a couple more minutes talking to you about some of the errors that we have. So let me go back again and show you what some of those errors were. Oh, great. Flow. Great. Image. There you are. Okay. So there's a new flow. So I recorded myself doing this and I'll upload it later. So I won't take you through every single thing here. The other piece that it has, let's just do a save so that it's not giving me any more errors. What happened to them all? Oh, it already exists. Great. Sorry. So much for that. Let's just bring that up. Oh, it's probably not in this view. Oh, there it was. Okay, let's go through some of these errors. I'll just change the type. Oh, okay, one of the first things that I found was interesting was that I had to define a variable that uses the record ID API name, which is instead of this, it wanted record ID. I don't know why yet, but I thought that was interesting because I thought that the mobile app needed ID. So maybe that's something that changed. The other error that I got was that it didn't allow it to be a variable. Like I couldn't save this variable. Like when I got this work order with the value record ID, I couldn't save it as its own record variable. It had to be in separate variables and I didn't map any fields yet. So I don't know what's going to happen when I try to change the status of the work order to be complete. So that's where we're at next. But once I was able to do that, I was able to successfully save the flow, the data capture flow. So I found that interesting. Definitely when I pull up like all of the work order line items, I had a screen here that wasn't supported. This particular checkbox and this specific file upload component, not supported. So you'd have to delete that and delete this, but this one has all this other stuff. So this is why I'm saying if you refactor, you got to think about all the downstream implications that are happening. You'd have to take away some of these decisions that happen. So I can't even save this because I have to go undo that. The other piece that's interesting. So let me flip over to the one that does work. On the new image component, this image upload, the cool thing is that we can now compress the image in here. We can't compress it too much. Yes, it's true. You can compress it and smoothing and all of that. But apparently we're going to be able to resize it even more going forward. There's going to be more that they're going to provide here. And then I have to set the related record to be the work order. So now that's going to be the record ID. The other piece, even renaming it, that's also not available yet. From my understanding, all of these advanced settings, like to manually assign the variables, the name of the image, not supported yet, but on the roadmap is the promise. There's actually a couple of screenshots that I need to pull up too, because there's some capabilities that are on the roadmap that they captured. So I'm just going to pull that up too while I'm trying to multitask here. Okay, so this is cool. What's interesting, like this checkbox is new because the way that the old one looked, if we pulled up the old image one, there's the way that checkbox looks, it's like smaller. So there's something different that changed with, where's my field service stuff? There you are. There's something changed about that component, which is why that one probably isn't supported anymore. Here's the job details screen. This is smaller font. It just looks different. Not exactly sure. Yeah. The other piece that I've learned is that all of the updates, this is actually pretty huge. All of the updates have to happen at the end of the flow. This is huge for us because we leveraged screens to help make a change in the middle of a flow. Meaning I could update a value, like looking at this one, right? I could update the Wally status and then do some more stuff like with a case, update a case, right? And then I can update the work order and the service appointment. So there's what we loved about this. And we could even use a screen to bring those assignments and those updates into the database, right? Basically save it to the record as part of the flow. But now we can't do that yet. So that's something that they know as a feature that we all love about the field service mobile flow that we can't have in data capture. And
that was a very specific design decision, they said, because they had so many issues with people having save errors in the middle of flows. So this is what I've been told by engineering.
Yeah.
So there was no technical reason that they had to do all the CRUD updates at the end. They chose that for specific reasons so that the flow wouldn't fail. However, it could still fail at the end, and then you have no screen to tell you that it failed. So I don't know. I've been trying to talk with engineering about that to see if that's something that was maybe a hasty decision, because I agree, like a lot of people have that design pattern, but I don't know if they'll ever change their mind on that because it seemed like it was very intentional. What you could do is store, instead of making the save in the middle of the flow, save your changes to a record variable and use that until the very end.
Oh, that's a good workaround. Thank you.
Yeah. And then at the very end of the flow, any updates that you've done, you just use that to do your saves. But yeah, that's just a thing to try. That way you can continue making changes and having screens, but you're not actually doing a real update until the very end.
Hey, that's cool. Thank you. I'm going to share something here because it might be worth knowing some of the architecture behind it. So I'm just going to share a couple of images here that I thought was pretty interesting. So the high level architecture diagram, this is what it looks like. Where did you guys go? Okay, here we go. Yeah. Back to your point, Derek, yeah, for sure we need to have the LWC turned on because we need access to all of this flow runtime engine stuff. So we will need to activate that. Yeah.
We just got the help documentation updated. They renamed the term in winter.
Oh.
But the help documentation wasn't updated correctly. Now it's not just LWCs, because there's a lot of features that will be taking advantage of that term that are not LWC based. So now it's enable Lightning SDK on your mobile app.
Okay.
And not only can you turn it on per user, but you can turn it on org wide.
Yes. Okay. So I will for sure make sure we go through that in like the next couple of minutes. Like, how do we actually activate it? Okay, cool. Thank you. So I did see that setting this morning and it was like, okay, this is cool to know that it's here. And then I guess we also have the perm set at a user level. All right. So this is what the architecture diagram looks like. This is the data capture, priming, and runtime. So Word Technician, the app loads, the data capture form object like exists. We've got a start action. So one of the things, okay, so it's this part, I was like, it's not clear. I can't see. I don't even know. Is this like a quick action page reference? So that's the piece that I didn't really totally get, was like, do I just add it as a quick action? Because mobile settings, like Lightning, whatever we called that thing, we're not using that anymore for this. Then what is this? Lightning Web Runtime? What is this? That's the layer that runs the data capture flow, metadata. And then we've got the platform. So this is what's orchestrating the data capture. So John, you asked the question, is it akin to work plans and work steps on steroids? No, it's more like replacing our mobile flows and making our forms, like the screens that we capture and all the data that we capture on those screens for the mobile app. So it's not quite like that. And also something that's on the roadmap too is the ability to launch a data capture flow type from a work step. So if the goal is to move away from mobile flows, we're going to need to have them launch off of a work step.
Got it. We've got a super squirrely use case that's like almost too much data to capture on a piece of paper, but the client would love to make it mobile. I'll show it to you later if we've got time.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That's just generally a thing that we were experiencing with field service, and why companies like True Context, and which was Pronto Forms, and Eureka exist, because the forms are so complex on some of these field service organizations. They have to capture everything, and it's not just for fun. It's for compliance reasons, right? If we don't document all the things that we did, we're never going to prove that anyways, it's compliance. So we can't move away from it. So this is I think the idea is that eventually it'll be something like that. But we're still constrained by what can be seen on a page layout. And so it'd be nice to see how far we can push it. Because as of right now, where this feature stands, it's better to keep it real simple, like one or two things it's doing, like changing a status or updating certain fields, like maybe creating a record based off of those fields. But yeah, like that's the way that I'm approaching this, is very cautiously and slowly, small use cases at a time, if you will. Okay, so I don't know how helpful that one is. So let's go to the next piece. Let's dig into how we turn this on. So I've got this data capture flow that might work. I don't know yet, but we're here to just try things on, right? In setup, one of the things that I noticed in the field service settings was that perm, or not perm, it's just the setting. And I probably should have said field service. It's on this bottom right-hand side somewhere here. Yes, enable Lightning SDK for field service mobile. So now, it even overrides it.
Yeah, once you turn it on here, the perm disappears at the user level. But if you disable this, then you can go back and set the perm at the user level.
I think this is more friendly for me. I feel like, unless if you're rolling it out and you want to test it only with some users, then I would say don't turn it on org-wide.
Exactly.
Give it to your pilot users to test out. Okay, let's go down that path because this is the easy path. So if we go to the perm, oh, hello. Seriously? There might be one already created in here.
There's no permission set. You have to create the permission set.
I do have to create it, but I'm in an SEO, so I'm wondering if somebody did it already.
I doubt it.
Okay. We've got this thing, but we don't know what it is. You're right. Okay, so let's just do that real quick. Thank you. Oh, here's Mark Koppel. Mark, welcome. So good to see you.
Hey, Ann, how are you?
I am good, thanks. How are you doing?
I wanted to join the first meeting, but I was meeting with Lori, so she took precedence.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes, she should.
Yep. Yeah, I'm glad to come back to field service. Haven't touched it in a year.
What? Really?
Yeah, my project is service.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So looking forward for you to show me what's new.
We're really digging in to see all the things. I think I was supposed to do it with a license. I totally forgot. Hold on. We need to create a permission set that's license based in order to get that Mobile SDK, right?
I don't think so. Maybe.
Really?
Did you not? Sorry. I looked away for a second.
Yeah, I'm also multitasking here too. I think I have to. What settings? Because that one setting wasn't there.
Lightning SDK? Okay.
We're going to find out. Okay, so field service mobile, safe. Yeah, there it is. All right. So that's really all that we need is to enable this. It's got to be, you have to tick the box that says that it's tied to a license. And then I just set it to the mobile one and then hit save. So Mark, what we're playing with is there's a new type of mobile flow that exists and it's still early days. So all the flows that you ever built for the customers that we've worked for won't work here. So the first thing that's a limitation that exists is that they don't do loops. So the scenario where you've got like a bunch of work order line items and you want to display them all and you select one and complete that one, then you go to the next one and complete that one. We can't do that here yet. So this is a very simple use case, early days, early feature. So, getting started with it. What's the right use case to use for this tool? When should we start using it and for what purpose? So,
Got it.
yeah. All right. So I've got this. I thought I managed my assignments. I could just add it. I wouldn't add it to the permission set group because I'm acting as if I'm working with the pilot users. Gloria Bars. You're getting this. New Mobile SDK, Lightning SDK. Okay. So you've got it. Great. Okay. So now I guess the question is change data capture. I set it at the work order. Okay. This is probably why it's making sense to me and why we need a record ID. It's probably because they're asking me to create it as a record action. So let me just go to setup.
The data capture
Intervention.
flow engine is brand new based off of the actual flow engine, not the field service mobile flow engine. So it won't it doesn't use those 3 specialized inputs anymore. So that was unique just to the old field service mobile flow version only. And this is based off of the existing flow engine, but made to work offline through the field service mobile app, through all the work they've done to make the mobile app support Lightning Web Components and Lightning Runtime and Lightning Data Service.
Thank you. That makes perfect sense.
Am I hearing that we don't use record ID in this new one, but ID like every other Salesforce? I'm sorry.
I think it's the other way. Yeah, it's the other way around. That's what you're hearing. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We're
Good.
back to, or we're moving towards the standard flow platform is what it sounds like. That's made for offline.
Very cool.
What on earth did I call this SFS data capture? Oh. This is a lot of flows.
Sorry, what are you trying to do here?
I'm trying to find my flow to launch the flow from an action.
Nope, you can't. It's data driven for data capture. So you have to add the related list form underneath the work order.
Okay. So that wasn't communicated in the training.
Oh, yeah, no, data capture flows are data driven. So you have to assign the flow through a junction object for every record you want to.
That's so interesting, right? I got the architecture, but that didn't.
Doesn't show the data model here. Yeah, no, it's a different data model.
Okay.
It's a data driven.
Oh my goodness, Derek! I cannot thank you enough for joining today.
You're very welcome.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I think it's this one. That's the default page layout.
So forms, looks like it's already been
Oh,
done.
looks like it's there. Sweet. I'm going to just pull it higher just to see what it is. And I'm going to just look at what we have here. Interesting.
Does that work with the Lightning stuff?
Yeah.
What do you mean with the Lightning stuff?
Not the page layout, but the Lightning pages.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know what data I
Just
need here,
to
so I'm
add it to
gonna
the
say-
UI. Yeah. The data, it's just needs to expose the data relationship between work order and that form.
So now you're telling me I have forms here.
But you need a lot more field. Drill into one of them.
Someone created forms for me. This is cute.
It says created by Leanne.
I
Probably
know. I didn't do
when you
it.
spun up the org, it might be
Yeah.
just. You might need to expose more fields though on that form.
Sounds like it.
Detail.
Like the
Because you need-
actual form field, like the ID?
No, like the flow, you might need to expose more fields like
parent record,
no.
pause flow
Scroll.
interview.
Can you hover? Just close this window and hover over the forms tab in the options in the middle of the page where there's all the different buttons. Hover over the forms. Why isn't it showing the API name?
I'm wondering if it's an old at the forms object yet.
Right, because there might be another one that's using the same name. The API name of the object is not form; it's dynamic data capture.
Oh, really? This.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So if you look at the fields there.
Yes, let's look at the page layout even, because I might not have all the fields on the page layout. Gotcha. Yeah, there's all of these things that might be missing. So let's just add them. Okay, good call. Thank you. Parent record type. Pause flow interview. I don't think I care about the date. Very interesting.
Clear as mud, right?
Once you go through the mud, a couple of times, right? Because like when we were going through it or when we were given that opportunity to look at it, we got like a demo, like a video demo, but it's very different when somebody actually goes through it.
Yeah.
Let me just change to compact so that I can see those fields added page layout or whatever it was.
It's like 2018 again, right? When you started with sales with field service.
That's why I wanted to bring this back, right? Because in order to learn these new features, like if you're not actually going in there and trying things out and actually getting an experience, like you're not going to learn it. So yeah, that's what we're doing here.
So the action I was working the PMs and the engineering team through the beta on this leading up to it and really found a lot of stuff at the beginning of the beta. So I tried to clear the path as much as possible. So pause interview is not the flow name. That's, I think captures, like if you pause the flow, store something.
Oh.
The action definition is the flow.
The action definition is the flow. So this guy right there, cancel. Gotcha. Okay. So it's going to launch this flow.
Click the
neat.
pencil.
So no more. Gotcha. Okay. So then to your point and to the design of the field service mobile settings, why do we need this if we're going to launch it all here? Okay.
You don't. Yeah. And I don't know if they're adding anything to app extensions anymore. Even before that, they were allowing you to launch flows by adding them to the page layout. So the app extension was
that's
like
where I thought it was
legacy.
going to be.
Yeah. So this is all data driven. And then so what you would want to do if you want to automate the addition of these flows to specific work orders or service appointments would create a trigger of some sort that would do the automation of creating this data. It's it's an extra step in order to get that if you want to automate the creation of this data.
Okay, that's neat. Okay, so then that goes back to John's point. Could it be akin to work plans and work steps, maybe on steroids, because it could very well be, right? Like these are the flows that you need to execute in this order. So it could be interesting. So
they even have execution order here that it's not enforcing anything, but it allows, it's like a sorting thing. So you could have them in that order.
Thing. Yeah. No more 01 safety assessment, 02
exactly
check-in, 03 update status, 04. Gosh. Yeah. Okay. We've come a long way.
And the action definition field, if you open that up to select, should only show data capture flows. And they're sorted by most recently created or most recently modified. So if you add a new flow, it'll go to the top of the list.
Gotcha.
I don't know of any other way to change that. But it's fine when there's only a few, but as you start adding more and more, you really just have to end up searching for it.
Yeah. And like where on earth is mine? I don't know. But let's just add something for kicks. So this is the safety assessment. So I'm just going to clone this and I'm going to call this closure.
Derek, you're saying that last touched or last created will be the last in line or first in line?
First, the most recently updated flow will be first in line.
That's horrible. Naming is better because you can't control who touched what, right?
Yeah, I'm just passing on info. With no,
I understand it's not against you personally.
no, that's why the search is going to have to be key when you're doing that. And I also add it to the full width of the, like, instead of a column, like one of the small columns, I put it in the full width section on my layout, because if you have like long flow names, and the only thing that differentiates between the two is like at the end of the name.
Correct.
So that's something to be considered too if you're doing this. Or don't use long flow names. That's
Right.
just some of the things that I picked up.
Okay, so that's a good one. So then you what you're saying is you tend to throw the forms on in the larger piece. So from here, for example, you're saying you edit your page.
No, just on the form layout. The description takes up the full width of the page layout.
Just
right now,
on
the action
here
definition is in
even.
the right column.
Like just,
Right. So
is
I
this
would
what you
move-
need?
Yeah, move action definition field. No.
To a
Oh yeah,
one
you can do
column.
that. Yep. I'm just lazy and I put it in the description section, but same thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I like your lazy better than my lazy.
But yes, exactly that. Just in a
Okay.
full width section. That way, in case you have long,
Yes.
it's visible.
Yes. Okay. So now where's my forms? Slowly the money. Okay. So right here are my forms. New. And then the capture type.
You don't need to change that. You don't. That'll
I
just
don't need to
default
change
based
that.
off the flow you select. There's it's
Execution
data capture
orders,
and dynamic.
99. Okay.
Do 66 will be funnier. Execution order.
So it does look like that. So it did show up. The newer one is on the bottom, but whatever. I don't.
Oh, it got added. Sorry, I misremembered. So it's at the bottom.
Whatever. It's there.
I just knew that it was ordered by not by alphabet.
Okay. So let's just give it a shot. Save. All right. So it's there. Forms.
What does it do?
I don't know yet. We're going to find out. That's what we're here for.
Right time.
Exactly. All right. When making changes in the mobile flow, like there are many options. One could be, can it just be a pet the app situation? Maybe not. Let's just look. And then the other option is clear the cached metadata. And so because I don't know where it's going to show up. Is it going to show up in an action? All of that stuff. We don't really know yet.
It's not in the action list.
Here.
I'll tell you that. You're going to want to clear your cache metadata.
But even for the forms that I had related, I'm not seeing it here.
It's a whole new tab called Forms that needs to be visible.
A whole new tab.
A whole new world.
The fact that these forms existed, is there like a sharing thing that needs to happen too?
Yep. You have to set up the data.
So again, like brands. Gotcha.
Your mobile user has to have access to the dynamic data capture object.
The dynamic capture object or form dynamic capture object. This is the junction object. This is the new object that's going to be used. Okay, got it. Okay. Yep. Let me just validate the sharing rules first because setup.
And what training did you go through? I don't think I've seen any official training yet.
It was for the partner advisory board. It was maybe 2 weeks ago, Kara and 2 others.
Well, maybe I was on that. I can't recall.
Yeah, I double check on that. Maybe that's why I missed some things because I think I was talking to you and Scott.
It was really high level. I didn't realize that was supposed to be the official training.
I don't know. It was, I think, just an intro.
Yeah, I got it. Okay. So I don't think they went. I don't think they went into this level of detail to show you all the things you need to do.
Because I'm like, I just want to create one, man, and I couldn't do it. So I'm like, I'm going to just do it with my office hours friends because this is the playthrough. scrape our knuckles and laugh and cry together. So dynamic. Oh, great. Here we go. Oh, it's not called that. Oh my God. The form object is called dynamic data capture. Dynamic data capture. Okay. How about I just do this? No, there's no field here or no sharing thing here. Oh, but there's 56 form.
Start scrolling.
I really wish they didn't use the label form because it's just so common. But
So common. But it doesn't look like there is one.
form junction object fields are visible. Here, I'm going to share the documentation.
Thank you. Thank you. I was about to go there, but
Here's
you
the
know,
help
I don't like to read the manual. As you remember.
So yeah, I'm trying to remember if there was any extra. I think you have to do field level security on the fields of the form object.
Okay. Okay.
In the big important box there.
Okay.
So those profiles should be able to see everything, but if you need to change the field permissions on the form object fields if you are going to use a different.
I see. Okay. My friend here, Gloria Barnes. No, Leanne.
So it's possible that you just need to do the refresh metadata on the mobile.
I'm going to do that.
If you're using a standard profile.
Because she's a standard user. All right, let's do it. Her favorite. Okay. All right, let's see.
You might need to wait for the data sync to complete.
Yeah, I was going to go there actually, because I wanted to see where the forms, there it is. It's last. Oh, but also not last. Synced before. That's cool. Yeah. I love that transparency these days. So it is possible that it's not on the mobile's page layout. You know how there's like a lot of work order page layouts that happen? Whoops. Just realizing the time. We could play with this all day. Page layouts. See, I don't know which one. Let's check out assignments. Standard for my standard user. So here's what I would suggest that as we're wrapping up on time here. Hold on, my standard user, work order layout. Okay. Oh, assignment. Open a Trailhead or Trailblazer or what do you call it? A Trailhead module or org. And I would try to spin up if you have an org already and you've got a closure flow, try to convert it to a data capture and take a look at this new data model and see what you create. So my idea is I want to have at least one of those in my demo org so that my customers can decide what's the difference between a mobile flow and a data capture flow, and what does the experience look like? Because they may really like these actions, but then they also may really like the concept of its own tab. So I would, when you're setting up the org to do a demo of the platform, like here are all the features and here are all of our options to create a work order, close a work order, update the status, totally create an option for each feature. That way they can see the pros and the cons. Because you won't know until you actually try it, right? Like we could talk about it and I'll do a terrible job of it because I don't even know what the heck I'm building here right now. But I think that's the best way, is to show them instead of telling them. And then if you give them the app, like I always give my users, if it's like within the first 3 or 4 weeks, like I'll build a first pass, I'll create my own like test user. Yay! I have forms. Almost
Neat
session
start.
with a win. Look at that. This is cute.
Right on the bell.
Yeah, this is pretty cute. Maybe they would like this better than the actions, because I've heard them say, I don't want to pull the drawer and look to see what's inside the back of the drawer, right? Give it a shot. See what it looks like. This is pretty cool. What I'm going to do is upload me walking through each one of these assessments. And then my playlist in the YouTube channel is going to just keep growing so that you've got a whole bunch of resources to look at. Next week, I feel like we'll just dig back into this and just keep moving forward. 'Cause eventually, I want to get to Agentforce. Let's try out all of the new tools, but that's the way that we're going. I thank you very much for joining me today. So glad we got this over. And I'll show you what this looks like in another recording. So check in tomorrow. I'll send you all an email letting you know if that's easier for you. So thanks a lot for joining. Talk to you again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Brilliant.
Thanks. Thanks, Derek. Appreciate it.